Well, in the Philippines, an intense search and rescue effort is underway after a powerful earthquake struck the central part of the country. Officials say at least 69 people are dead, but that number is expected to rise. The magnitude 6.9 quake hit late last night in a central province. Drone footage shows the size and scope of the devastation, and you can see several buildings have crumbled to the ground. Rescuers are using mechanical diggers and sniffer dogs to look for survivors. And here's some more video of the moment the quake hit. There was shock and panic among people in this night market. And here's another image of the earthquake. You can see the cross falling off the top of a church. Officials have declared what they call a state of calamity. We do want to stay on this story, and for that I want to bring in Morexet Marie Iram. She is a reporter at the Cebu Daily News, and she joins us now from Cebu City in the Philippines. Morexet, your team just came back from the epicenter of the quake in Bogo City. Can you just paint a picture for us of what you saw there?
Yeah, that's right, Arthur. So, as this epicenter of the powerful earthquake that struck late last night, Bogo City is still struggling to recover. Basically, power is down. Communication lines are unstable, and what's really heartbreaking there is that the survivors themselves are still afraid to go back in their own homes because of the aftershocks. As of this moment, PBOX, which is our bureau monitoring on volcanic and seismic activities here in the Philippines, has recorded nearly 900 aftershocks since the earthquake occurred last night. And with that, the victims, the survivors, they rather sleep outside, on the road, in the field, and what's even worse is that the weather here is not cooperative at all. Aside from the earthquake, we've been experiencing intense rains. I mean, it's just a double whammy for the victims right now, and it's really, really heartbreaking to go there. And what they really need right now are tents, just for temporary shelter, and then they're looking for food as well as water, because even supply of potable water there is also a struggle to get by.
You know, I wanted to ask you, because of course you're doing the reporting on the ground of this, but you also experienced it yourself. Can you describe for me, because we saw those images, the video, the pictures, they are stunning to look at the amount of damage that was caused by this earthquake. Can you describe for me and for our viewers what you experienced personally?
Well, based on our here in Cebu City, it's like a 3-hour drive away from Bogo. We're south of Bogo City, but we still felt the tremors here pretty bad. At first, the earthquake was low, and we didn't. It was like, Cebu is still part of the Philippines is still part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. So basically, earthquakes is happens too often. At the first few seconds, the earthquake was slow, and then it suddenly started to get stronger, and the buildings were making noises. It reminded us back in 2013 when the central part of the Philippines also experienced a quite similarly earthquake. And we were the shock. In my experience, the shock really came in quite late because, as I said, the earthquake was pretty slow at first. And then when it started to get stronger, that's when we started rushing out of our house, go outside, and the quake lasted longer than we expected. I guess it lasted around more than a minute or 2 minutes, which is quite long for a jolt like that.
And And that
Yeah.
must have been incredibly terrifying for people, even if they were not in Bogo City. As you said, you could feel it where you were as well. I do want to ask also, I know you mentioned that you are still concerned, and many in the community are still very concerned about aftershocks and the possibility of how strong they may be. What makes the infrastructure where you are particularly vulnerable to that sort of an impact? You know, we saw those images of buildings just crumbling.
I think maybe because Bogo City is closer to the epicenter, whereas Cebu City is quite far. It's like, I think in my estimate, it's like a 90 kilometers south of Bogo City. And then from what we've heard and listened from the survivors there's quite a contrast. Like there's quite difference in our experiences. Like here in Cebu City, our experience was like we just felt the ground shake terribly. But there in Bogo, we interviewed survivors shortly before the power went out. They started seeing the roofs of their houses like swaying. Yeah, it's like they're swaying, and they thought it was like they really thought they were just experiencing a mirage or a headache, and then they started to notice that there's something wrong going on with their environment. So yeah, that's quite a jarring observation. Yeah.
Marixa, thank you so much for your time and for describing for us what it is like right now where the earthquake hit. We appreciate your time. That was Marixa Marie Iram. She's a reporter with Cebu Daily News. Thank you.